32 people waiting, huh? Damn. How's it going? 32 people waiting and 21 likes. What are you doing while you're waiting? Why don't you hit like? I know because you haven't seen anything yet. I get it. Hit like. So, today we're here to talk about Equality of Mercy, episode 10 of season 1 of Strange New Worlds. And yes, I'm starting early. Because I can. I didn't have it scheduled for 10 or 5 after 10. So that's just in case I was a little bit late. I'm not late. I'm on time. So therefore, I guess I'm early. I don't know. Look, it's the Farragut. Kind of is, honestly. Anyhow, let's see what you guys are saying. I'm sure you've already said a bunch of things. I'm not going to read everything tonight, so if you want me to really read your comment, you're going to have to super chat because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people talking about this episode. This was a fantastic season finale. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's see. All right, your channel. That's my channel. It's future Foley, yes. Wow, where do we even start with this episode? Fantastic episode. Somebody messaged me before I even saw it and said, that was the best episode of Star Trek ever. And it's like, bad expectations to have going into it. It was great. It was an absolutely great episode. But best episode of Star Trek ever? I mean, it's up there. It's up there. But not the best episode ever. Sorry. I can't get behind that. Definitely had a lot of great stuff and no complaints really. There's a few little niggles here and there that I have, but overall, pretty fantastic episode. Did not see the ending coming with Una, but kind of explains why nobody's ever heard of her since the cage. So I don't know how I feel about that. The Federation being a bunch of dicks, because that's just stupidity. They won't even let her talk to anybody. That's just not even. What is the Federation even has a death penalty, for Christ's sakes, for Talos 4. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with the Federation? Some shitty stuff going on there. Well, Anton, yes, there was a Monster Maroon. We do a video about that. It'll probably be out on Monday, I believe. It's actually quite different than the regular Monster Maroon. We take a look at it and we break that down because that's what we do here on Trekyards. This is the way. So Mark throws in $5. The Pike Maroon, yes. Fleet Paw, member for 28 months of the break, Captain. Thank you very much, Captain. And he's also a moderator, one of the best. But I haven't seen him for a while. He says, let's just start this off right. That was a proper season finale. Definitely up there as one of the best. A couple of nitpicks, but it's fine. Yes, I would agree with that. Yes, Mark, I agree. I don't think Paul Wesley as Kirk really hit the nail on the head at all, ever. There's one scene where he looked like Kirk, and that's where the Farragut was rolling, and you see him like going upside down, his hair's a little bit. That looked like Kirk for a second. Other than that, he doesn't have the gravitas to be Kirk, I don't think. I don't know how he got the part, honestly. Chris Pine definitely does a better Kirk than this guy. But nice little treat seeing Kirk, I gotta say. Yeah. Looked like a cheap version of the Maroon. Yeah, that's because of the stupid long strap and the flap, instead of going straight across, went down. Looked kind of silly. But we have a video talking about that soon, so. Peter Lukaku, $10. That's how you make a proper Alfredo pasta. That looked good. What was it? Something Mama? I forget what it's called. But yeah, leftover spaghetti, you crack an egg into it and add some Parmesan cheese and saute it. I'm like, I gotta try that someday for breakfast because yummy. That just sounded awesome. They should come out with a Pike's cookbook because Pike makes some good shit apparently. So I'm all for a Pike's cookbook. I'm just saying, somebody make that happen. Wesley might work better next season as young Kirk, but the issue is this episode needed Wesley to be Kirk at his peak performance. Yeah. And listen, Jericho, I agree. I expected him to be the Romulan commander as well. That's the gentleman that played Sarek, James Frain. I was expecting that. Would have been a nice little touch, but the Romulan commander would seem like a very TNG style Romulan, just with the way he spoke. There were a few instances where, of course, he was very much like the one from Balance of Terror with the things he said. But honestly, he did feel more like a TNG Romulan, not just because of the forehead prosthetics. I didn't really have a problem with that. It was just the way he spoke felt very reminiscent of a TNG era Romulan. But again, small little thing. One of my biggest beefs with it, honestly, and it's not even a beef with this episode, it's just beef with the guys that work on the special effects. You spent all this fucking time to make us Romulan ships. We got a new flagship. We got another sort of vessel, and then we of course had the antique bird of prey from Picard. It is the exact same model, for the record. So they had that. That was fine. But they made 2 new Romulan ships. Yet last week when we had a Sombra class, they just used a goddamn Constitution class. That fucking annoyed me. Make a new class of ship if you're going to call it the Sombra class. If they had said the Sombra class and it had been the Farragut that was in this episode, and then we see the Farragut in this episode and look the same, wouldn't have had an issue with that. The Farragut could have been a Sombra class, fine, but it was just the Sombra class being Connie is stupid beyond stupid. So, not a fan of that. I gotta say. So yeah, let me actually just tip this a bit. Sorry, my pug's making noise. Neil, no problem, Neil. Glad you enjoyed the discount. She wasn't a Romulan legate. She was the praetor. So that's different than a legate. Yeah, and the Farragut that should be a Connie wasn't. Yeah, that's another thing that bothered me too. Oh well. And yeah, Captain Patal, the lady, she was the command of a Constitution class that was the USS Cayuga, which honestly, maybe that's a Sombra class. I don't even know. You couldn't tell. It looked exactly like the Enterprise, therefore it might have been a Sombra class or a Constitution class. We just don't know. But that was another little niggle. Older Pike, awesome. They did a good job of aging him slightly to be a little bit older Pike, and that's cool. The whole thing of not being able to change your destiny every time you do, Spock is the one that's going to suffer. Interesting touch. That scene at the end where it's Pike and Spock talking about Spock owing him something and just their friendship was great. It's a great explanation for the menagerie, why Spock was willing to risk his life and his career to get him to Talos 4. That was fantastic and so well played. Yes, we knew that they served together. We didn't know how close they were. Now we do, and that's amazing. 102 people here with 47 likes, guys. We're not even at 50 likes yet. Hit that like button. Let's try to get up to 80. We can do it. We can even hit 100, but I'm just aiming for 80 right now. So hit that like button. The Farragut's class was technically never revealed in canon until now. Well, isn't that so sweet? It was a Constitution class. I hate to break it to you. Just the way it is. It's a lot of beta canon and stuff that proves that. So, you say that, but you're one of those apologeticists that just like, well, it's never been seen on screen, so therefore it's not this. Well, it is, because we've got a lot of history. We know a lot of stuff, especially with beta canon. But beta canon is not real canon. I get it. However, it's just the way it is. So, one of the things I really liked about this episode as well was the TOS touches, the lighting across the eyes, the very subtle TOS lighting, the musical cues were amazing. We got a Scotty. We didn't see a Scotty, but we heard a Scotty, and that was damn well good enough. That was pretty awesome. So, yay for that. That's a bonus. Also, they moved the stations around. Ortegas was on the other side of the helm console, and Uhura, her communication station, was exactly where it was supposed to be, and that's behind the captain's chair. So that was great that they moved the communication station from the front right of the bridge to behind the captain where it belongs. That's awesome. They had the opportunity in this episode, I think, to actually make a few changes to the Enterprise, which they didn't do. Again, little problem with the modelers, in my opinion. They could have added straight struts. They could have done something just to make it a little bit different because it's 7 years later, so that would be awesome. They didn't do that. Again, not a big deal, but something to point out. BJ throws in $2. USS Farragut was great. Damn torpedoes. Those plasma torpedoes were fucking dope. The scene where you see the bird of prey from the side firing and like forming the plasma torpedo and it's like arcing back and hitting the ship. So cool. We got such a cool screen grab of that for our episode that it just looked amazing. The new plasma torpedo effect is a very much approved by me. Very good look. Fleet Paw throws in $5. Two things. Pike's pasta dish was pasta mama. That's it. Thank you. 2, Romulan uniforms, good homage or bad reimagining. Both. I wouldn't say the bad reimagining. I thought it was a pretty good reimagining, actually. But I like the Romulan uniforms. Didn't have a problem with that. Why was Uhura at the end? Didn't she leave last week? No. Her time aboard the Enterprise was over, but at the end of the episode, she was looking around like, yeah, she decided she wanted to stay. And so it just carried over, and that's fine. She was sure she wanted to leave, or she wasn't sure where she wanted to be, but she was going to leave. And then by the end of the episode, because of Hemmer, she decided to find a place where she'd be happy, and that was on the Enterprise. Peter Lukaku, $10. One thing I agree is that Ethan Peck does a good Spock. Newkirk doesn't have the same mannerisms that I was looking for. He was less animated and sterile. Yes, I would totally agree with all that. The reveal of the Romulan look, or the Romulans looking like Vulcans, was great. Instead of McCoy on the bridge, it was Sam Kirk. The pan over Sam Kirk, Pike, and then Spock ending with the eyebrow raise. Perfect, because that's exactly what Leonard Nimoy did when he saw it on Balanced Terror. With the view screen and did the eyebrow raise. I was a little annoyed with Ortega's kind of having an issue with Spock and being so angry. She served with Spock for at least 7 years, definitely more, because this is 7 years after. So served with Spock that long and that still had the kind of hatred towards Spock didn't work for me. The whole keep your bigotry in your quarters thing from Balance of Terror was good because it was a guy we didn't know who had maybe not had served with Spock that long. A little bit of annoying there, but it didn't last long, so that's good. Cody Michaels, $2. Do you think Kirk looked like Jim Carrey a bit? No, but he did have very bushy eyebrows. So he definitely didn't look like Fire Marshal Bill. If you know what I'm saying. Snoopy, $2. I was in tears when Pike knew his fate. Yes, indeed. Yes, Ortegas was playing Styles' role, but she shouldn't have been. That was just stupid. Good to hear Scotty's voice. Yes, this is true. Brian Strait, $5. So Future Pike basically played the Janeway Endgame card, right? No, because his original fate was to be disfigured in the accident and have those 2 cadets killed, and he's trying to change it. So the older Pike is actually setting things right. The Endgame Janeway was just she didn't like the way things played out, so she thought she'd go and fuck with time, and it's a little bit not the same thing. I can see why you'd say that, but I mean, I don't blame Pike. I don't blame Pike for trying to save the cadets and to save himself at all, actually. I'm just saying, like, he keeps his memories from the time crystal because he does remember what happened in the accident. So theoretically, he could just sidestep that accident again. And 6 months later, when the Balance of Terror thing happens again, he would know not to send nor not allow Spock to go down to supervise the phaser repairs, which would save Spock. And he could probably stop that war if he took Kirk's advice and actually hunted the bird of prey down like Kirk did initially. So there you go. Scotty Bear Love Sweetie Joy. Okay, great name. $5. No comment. Just wanted to say you are awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I don't think I'm awesome, but I really do appreciate when people say that. So thank you so much. And the super chat, just icing on the cake for that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Cody, I said the same thing. When the time crystal was revealed, I yelled out kryptonite to my girlfriend. I said the same thing to Sylvia. I'm like, that's one of that's that green crystal that activates his computer in the Fortress of Solitude. Andre Benson throws in $5. I didn't put too much into New Kirk. He was a different reality. Next season we may get the Kirk we are familiar with. Okay, I'd buy that. He might have been yes, he was a captain. He did earn the captaincy. That's fine. But he was not captain of the flagship or a Constitution class. So he might have felt like he had failed himself a bit and might not have been the same Kirk that we see in TOS. I'm fine with that, honestly. He would still probably be the youngest captain in Starfleet at the time, and that's something to be proud of as well. Just saying. But to be the youngest captain in Starfleet and get a Constitution class, now that's something to be proud of. BJ puts in $2. Lesson, just nuke them. Sound military advice. Yeah. Peter Lukaku, $5. This felt like it could fit into a prequel movie before the motion picture. Yeah, it felt like a movie. It was over an hour long, an hour and 1 minute. So speaking of, the Orville this week was an hour and 10 minutes, and that's also a fantastic episode. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I'll probably be doing a live about that tomorrow night. Chris Sima won $5. Was Paul Schneider credited? Half the script was his work. I don't know who was credited for it. I don't know. I wouldn't say half the script, maybe a quarter of it, if that. Maybe he's gonna get royalties, and if he's passed away, maybe his family will. I don't know. I don't know how that works necessarily, but yeah. Fleet Pass said, "Did you have commercials?" Did not. No. You mean when it was on TV? No, I didn't watch it on TV, so I have no idea. There would have been definitely on CTV Sci-Fi. There would have been commercials. Probably went for like an hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and maybe they pushed it to an hour and a half. I don't know, which means it would still be on because I think it airs at 9. So. Let's see. Chris says, "Doesn't Sam Kirk remind you of Guy from Galaxy Quest?" Yeah, a little, but everybody says that, and it's just like it got old really quick. It got old the first time we saw him with everybody saying the same thing. Yeah, I get why the comparison is there, but no, I guess. I don't know. Cody says, "I'll just say I really hated the new Maroons. Probably the worst updated uniform in a while." Well, it wasn't that bad, except for the super shiny stripe on the legs and the leathery arms, which looked like it was wet. And the strap, instead of being cloth, was actually leather. Like if we took a screen grab, and like I said, we did a whole video on the uniform. You zoom in, it's actually leather, and it doesn't look good. It would have looked better if it had gone straight across like they're supposed to instead of going down. But hey, it is what it is. They want to reimagine everything and put their stamp on it. So that's cool. I really wish when the time jump happened 7 years in the future that Pike would have got a different uniform instead of the black undershirt with the yellow. I wish it was the yellow shirt with the whole black collar like TOS. That would have been amazing. But those little changes weren't made, and that's okay too. Libby says, I thought in the cage they said none of the trainees died, but this episode Pike said 2 trainees died. Does that get addressed? Uh, I'd have to go back and watch the menagerie. I don't think they say that everybody was saved. He saved most of the cadets, as far as I believe. That's a good question. I haven't watched the menagerie in a while. I need to go check that out. But yes, 2 of the cadets died apparently. So. Stanley, has any idea how they know about Una, and do they know about La'an? Well, La'an is not genetically modified. She is just a descendant of Gons. So she doesn't have... If she does have any augment DNA, it would be very diluted. So yeah, they would know about the name, like a Nooney and Singh. They would kind of put 2 and 2 together, probably. How they knew about Una, I don't know, and I don't care. Honestly, she was never a great character for me. She was in the cage, but in Strange New World, she's just been a background character, and I'm not a big fan of Rebecca Romijn. So, Rebecca Romijn Lettuce. So, no problem with that. Pike said it's not over. He's gonna try to get her back, I guess. I don't know how that's gonna play out, but what a way to end the episode. It just seemed like a weird note, especially after such an episode, you know? Grant McGregor, $10. In all other realities, he dies. Is limited thinking. If you have the will, you have the way. But then will you quit weaving time? There's something from this episode that I can delve deeper into control. And yes, Andy, this season did start with her being captured. Did you miss Chapel's white uniform cap? Huh? Did you? I just missed Chapel in this episode. Yeah, she was in it for a hot second, but she was wearing the blue uniform, and I just always miss Chapel when she's not on screen. So. Yeah, Una was definitely not given enough this season to make me care about her, honestly. I just didn't care. I was so disappointed when it's like, our fleet's coming in. Yay! Bunch of fucking freighters. Seriously. I love the bluff. I thought it was a good idea. They were just near that colony, the mining colony. But I just wish there would have been, one other Constitution class. I wish Captain Patel could have jumped in and joined the Enterprise up front. That would have been cool. She was in the area. So, but no, as for it being a good bluff, it absolutely was. That was kind of cool to see. And typical Kirk. There are a few lines that I could see Kirk saying, but the actor did such a not a shit job, just not a good job of portraying Kirk, in my opinion. There's a few little mannerisms when he sat and things like that where it looked like him. So kudos for that, but they needed more of it for sure. By the way, guys, 189 people here. Awesome. 93 likes. Awesome. Hit that like button. Let's try to get to 120. I think we can do it. Peter Lukaku, $5. So Anson Mount is the best Pike since Wheelchair Man. He's breathed new life into the character, and I actually like him more than Kirk. Matt C, $10. I enjoyed this season and finale, but with this ending, I feel like Stranger Worlds has a limited series with most characters' stories wrapped up for TOS. What would a series 2 add to pre-TOS Star Trek? Or season 2? A lot. There's still, 7 years until TOS season 1. So there's still a lot that can happen. Yes, the characters, a lot of them, that person's not going to die. That person's going to end up here. Pike's not going to die. So it does take away a lot of the stakes in the episodes, but look what happened to Hemmer. who knows what can happen to Laan or Tegas, or that's it. So nobody else, honestly. Um, did you notice the navigator was named Mitchell? Yeah, she was in like episode 1 or 2 as well with the name Mitchell. So yeah, did notice that. The Farragut has been portrayed as a Connie by secondary sources up to now. How do you feel about them changing her class of ship? Well, according to some people, it was never a Connie because it was never seen on screen. Yes, it was always a Connie. It was one of the original 12 Constitution class ships, and not happy with the way it was presented in this show, honestly. It was cool to see a new design. I really think they should have used that ship last week when they had a new class of ship that was fast, called the Sombra class. It uses Constitution class parts and design and same dry dock facilities, and it's just a Constitution class. So yeah, Captain Patel's ship should have been the Farragut because her ship looked like a Connie, but it was the USS Cayuga. It should have maybe it was the Sommer class. We don't know. Fleet Pod, $2. Money for fixed rank stripes. Glad they fixed them. Okay. JB, $5. Love the slight reimagining of the Monster Maroons. The Delta patterning isn't as noticeable on it. Yeah, until you change the brightness of the video, which we've done a whole video on the Monster Maroons. Like I said, it should be coming out Monday where we compare it to the original. There's quite a few differences. Some subtle, some not so subtle. So, new design is reminiscent of the California class. Somewhat, yeah, I can see that. I don't know, it was a neat enough design. We're going to be taking a look at that ship as well in a future video. So, but yeah, seeing Pike in a Monster Maroon was a nice touch. That's a fantastic touch. Just a great way that surprised the shit out of me when I saw that. And that was right at the beginning of the episode. And then I saw more of the Monster Maroon. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a new take on it. Cool. It's like, oh, look at that flap. Oh. Just could have been so much better. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much about it. I do like it still. It's just not as good as the original. So, Peter Lukaku, $5. Not sure if this has been asked already. I'm watching DS9 and chat at the same time. But what did you think of the new movie series uniform on Pike? I thought it looked good on Pike, but it's a little bit of a lazy uniform. It seems like almost like a fan-made cosplay. It's like a cheaper fabric. It's not as thick as the Monster Maroon, which is probably way more comfortable, by the way, but still. And just the cut of that goddamn flap. It just looked lazy. It looked like it was melted or just an ill-fitting uniform almost. The Dark Lord Revan, $5. Why was Lieutenant Ortega so mean in that timeline? Well, I don't know. Like I said, she's worked with Spock for years at this point, more than 7 years, and yet, oh, wait a minute, he's a Romulan. Okay, whatever. Styles was the original guy in Balance of Terror that was like, but this the first time we'd seen him, so who gives a shit? He was a new to the crew, or came up from a lower decks position to be a bridge officer. Didn't know Spock that much or that well. Fine, that prejudice makes sense. Ortega's didn't, and I hated every second of it. Glad it didn't last too long. It kind of ended when she said, well, if Spock and I can agree, then, so that was fine. But yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit with Ortega's. It wasn't enough to ruin anything for me. I just wish, well, I was going to say I wish she had a bigger role in the episode, but I don't. I do like Ortega's, but she needs her own episode at some point. So maybe season 2 will get that. I don't know. The Farragut reminded me of a fastest ship. It looks like a Lochnar, but I know it's not. Thoughts? Yeah, it's definitely not a Lochnar. I don't know. I'll have to watch our video on it. We haven't really examined it too closely, and I've seen it in the episode 3 times now, so I get a good feel for what it's like. It's kind of got the lower deflector dish is kind of integrated in, and feels kind of Akira-like. But yeah, the pylons with being curved, also a weird touch. Just kind of got a Miranda look, but not. So, let's see. See you later, Olivia. Wish we could have shown more of the relationship between Sam and Kirk. Yeah, I did like Sam's little talk with Pike, though. It's just off the record. Yeah, Kirk can, or Jim can be a real pain in the ass, a severe pain in the ass. But I love how Pike's like, is he going to start a war? Am I here to prevent him from starting a war? No, you were the one that started a war. So that was kind of an interesting twist. I liked that a lot. Farragut looked like a JJ verse ship. A little bit. Yes, it did. So is Pike going to debrief Starfleet about the Romulans? Probably not. I don't think he's going to do anything that will alter the timeline at like all. So when Styles saw the Romulans for the first time, he accused Spock of allying with them. Yes. Or that he was a Romulan spy. Interesting that Sam Kirk was even on the Enterprise. I guess a ripple effect of Pike's letter. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe it was Kirk getting command of the Enterprise that makes Sam be like, I'm gonna head out. I don't want to serve on the same ship as my brother, for whatever reason. But Yeah, Ryan, I agree. He says a little nitpicky, but the neutral zone didn't seem that big. They only bring it up because they made a point of saying both fleets were on their respective sides of the zone. Yes, distance in this one is all fucked. Like, they come out of war, and they're like, we're at station keeping for the outpost. Very close. And then when the Romulan attack, we're not in weapons range. Oh no. Do you have weapons? Can you? Oh, you can. You're dead. Oh. And then later, it's same thing. The bird of prey decloaks behind the Farragut, and the Enterprise is like, oh, we're out of weapons range. Fire anyway. Oh, we clipped them. It's like, yeah. And, okay, for the record, that's not how plasma torpedoes work. Yes, the farther they go, the more they dissipate, and the bigger they get. They start out very concentrated. Okay, I've played a lot of Starfleet battles. I know how plasma torpedoes work. So they fire, they got a lot of punch, like 32 points of damage when they launch. Within like a couple spaces, that dissipates. If you can stay ahead of it, which you can't, really, because it moves at a speed of 32, which is the highest speed in the game. No ship can go that fast. Highest a ship can go is 31. So if you can outrun it, it will eventually hit you still, but the farther you outrun it, the more it dissipates. The Enterprise was flying in. The bird of prey fires pretty close, and it hits the strut. It's like, oh, the energy dissipated. It's fine. In the original Balance of Terror, they fire at it. They fire at the Enterprise, and the Enterprise like takes off, and you see it like creeping up on them, and eventually just hits the ship, and it had lost all of its punch. So that was a bit of a problem for me, considering I played so much Starfleet battles, and I'm always the Federation, and my brother's always the goddamn Romulans, and he loves blasting me with plasma torpedoes, and it just sucks. So, anyway. Christian Montgomery, $2. Kirk seemed like a Kirk without his Enterprise crew. Yeah. Fleet pod phaser bolts instead of beams, a tragedy. I knew somebody was going to say that, and you're like the fifth person I've seen today that's complained about that. It's not the biggest deal to me. I really wish there kind of would have been like a kind of a sweeping phaser instead of a, but didn't really bother me that much, honestly. So, it's a small thing. In the original, it was full reverse, I thought, and met it range. Yeah, they pulled away from it, and as the plasma torpedo goes further and further, it gets bigger and bigger as the plasma like expands and kind of dissipates. to the point where it hit the ship and it's like just a gentle like. Woof. But if it hits you up close, boom, it's through your shields and it's a lot of internal damage. So the way that the Enterprise was flying and the way the bird of prey fired, they were so fucking close visually. That was just stupid to say that, oh, it dissipated over time. They were flying towards each other. You would have been annihilated when that hit. But whatever. Conceit of storytelling. Good tea, nice house, $5. Is it fair to say Stranger Worlds failed to deliver a single stinker episode in its first season? Yes. I think that's absolutely fair to say. There were no stinkers. There were some that were less good, or for whatever reason, but, you know, that's subjective. A lot of people might have liked those not so great episodes that I didn't find the best. I still thought all of them were great, and I thought all of them were better than 95% of Discovery episodes. So there's that, at least. We have 191 people here, which is amazing, guys. That's awesome. Welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, all that jazz. And 138 likes currently. Hit that like button so that we can get those likes up. I'm gonna ask for 150. So we need 12 more likes. And then after that's 180. I'm not gonna go to 175, but let's try to hit 180. Let's just hit that. That'd be amazing. They forgot about the nuclear bomb and the debris. Yeah, they didn't do that part. They didn't have the old guy on board either. And another thing, another error. Imbalance of terror. The bird of prey was an experimental test bed, not only for the cloak, but also for the plasma torpedo. So that's cool. That's fine. They send it across the border to do its thing. Cool. This one, when the flagship comes in with the Praetor on board, it fires a plasma torpedo. So makes the bird of prey no longer special. The special thing it has now is a cloak, which they were like, "Ooh, it's got a cloak." Ooh. And another thing, on the bridge of the bird of prey, you do see where the commander and the sub-commander are speaking to each other. Behind them, one of the displays is a quantum singularity drive display. Quantum singularity. The bird of prey in TOS, Balance of Terror, ran on nuclear reactors. Scotty has a big line about it saying they're not even sure how it got there because it wouldn't be able to achieve warp. Very slow moving vehicle, because it was basically just a platform for this new advanced weapon system and the cloak. So it wasn't even really designed to go very far or fast. So it would not have a quantum singularity drive. I thought that was stupid to see that display. A lot of people might not have noticed it, but it is what it is. It was there. Meh. Can be overlooked, I suppose. Cody Michaels, $2. What did the Admiral think? She thought it was great. She really enjoyed it. Joseph says, are you going to Vegas this year? No, I will not be going to Vegas. Yes, I did hear a certain Scotsman talking to Scott. That was awesome. Or to Spock. And now everybody's saying that Paul Wesley looks like Jim Carrey. I didn't see that necessarily, but I can see maybe why people would say it. I just thought he had really too bushy of eyebrows, but hey. Lisa Jericho says, I noticed the star chart blunder. I don't know what you're talking about there. Ooh, Lisa Jericho, have fun in Vegas, man. Ooh, Jason Vinek is here. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Speaking of the original episode, the ship could have been dropped off or towed by... Yes, we actually have an episode talking about the original... It was like our first episode as Trekyards ever. Yeah, that was what was surmised. It was dropped off by a warp-capable ship near the border and went over. It didn't have warp capabilities, so... The star chart had Miri and Viserius on it. Oh, did it? Okay. Well, it raises the question. There's, let's see, Balance of Terror is like episode 11 of season 1. So you got Charlie X, you got um, The Man Trap, Mud's Woman, quite a few different episodes before um, Balance of Terror. So it'll be interesting to see how Pike, did all those missions in the intervening time. That would have been cool to see. I think episode 10 or 9 and 10 were Menagerie Part 1 and 2, so they don't really count in that regard. So, Peter Lukaku, $5. So, who is Mott's father in the original series? I guess I have to rewatch The Balance of Power to see the comparison. There you go. Let's see. Ooh, Wingnut is here. Hello, Wingnut. How's it going? Good to see you, man. Star Trek was before the time jump. Okay, I'll have to go back and take a look at that. I do have an early script draft of Mud's Women with Pike in it instead of Kirk. Really, Subspace Chatter. Interesting. JB puts in $10. I'm chalking up the Romulan tech inconsistencies to the timeline already being altered due to Pike being on the Enterprise at the time of the incident. Yeah, I suppose. Don't know how that would affect the Romulans in any way. Some little Starfleet changes, sure. But don't know if I buy that. Sorry, man. JB, $10. If you remember early on in this episode before the time jump, Pike was skeptical of the Romulans, so maybe his attitude on his position of power affected the timeline in different ways also. Yes, I suppose so. But you should be skeptical of the Romulans. They're crafty little bastards. The beginning where he talked to the Starbase commander, there was a star chart in the briefing. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I didn't really take that close of a look at it. Was that a KJR uniform in the picture of April and Pike? It was. Absolutely it was. It was the turtleneck style uniform. So, and boy, did Spock get messed up. Missing a leg and the burns. Damn, son. And cervical fractures. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Poor Spock is all I can say. But it really, that scene at the end is very poignant with the conversation between Spock and Pike, where Pike's like, "Good to see you. Well, you just saw me. Ooh, I feel like I owe you whatever." That whole thing was great. Like, you're important to me, Spock. You are as well to me, sir. It really brings the menagerie. It puts menagerie in a different light. Yes, she knew they served together. Yes, they knew that Spock was loyal to Pike before this, but that scene really reinforces the menagerie to why Spock would really put his life and his career, I should say it the other way, his career and his life on the line to get Pike to Talos 4. So, yeah, I love that. I love the little subtle touches in this. There was a few things that bothered me, like we've kind of talked about some of them, but overall, this is probably my favorite episode of the season. That being said, we're doing a live tomorrow, probably at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Might be half hour later because Samuel's got a thing earlier and he's going to be on his way back. He might not get back in time, which means even 4:30 it might be pushed back a little bit further. But we're going to try to start at 4:30, and it's probably going to be like a 3-hour live tomorrow. So if you can join us for that, please do, because we're going to break it down in detail. We have a lot of topics to discuss from this one. This was a very Trekyards heavy episode as far as things to talk about. So we'll have a lot of breakdown videos and stuff as well. So if you can join us for that, please do. Don't know why I started saying that. probably one of the comments. I don't know. Anyway. They could have had Scotty carrying Spock into sick bay. Yeah. He stayed at his post when the trainees all ran. Oh, yeah, this is probably one of my, if not my favorite episode, it's definitely like in the top 3 for sure. But I'm pretty sure this is my favorite episode of this season. We will be doing a retrospective of the season 1, of all of season 1, a Trekyards retrospective, probably on July 17th or 18th. That weekend, so not this upcoming weekend, but the one after, where we'll go back and look at each episode and rescore it based on the whole, having seen the whole season now, and see where it stands to our original scores. But this one's going to get a super high score from me, is the point I was trying to make. I have a number in mind, but I'm not going to say it until tomorrow. That's why I started on the spiel about tomorrow's live. So join us for that if you want to get my score on this episode. Peter throws in $5. So this episode definitely proves that Prime timeline, it is not. I mean, yes. Yes and no. I mean, you can make an argument either way on that one, but it definitely shows timeline shenanigans for sure. Fleetpaw, $5. How long before folks start shipping Pike and Spock? That idea kind of scares me more than Kirk Spock shipping stories. What is this shipping? I don't know where that comes from, but yeah, I guess his name would be Pike still, or Spike? Spike for Buffy the Vampire Slayer instead of Spurg. God damn, I got an itch and I can't scratch it. Oh, there we go. That's it. What else can we talk about with this episode? There's lots to discuss. I was kind of disappointed with the cut and paste fleet for the Federation, at least at the end with the freighters. Don't really care. I wish there would have been at least one other ship. There could have been. There could have been the USS Cayuga, Captain Patel's ship. She could have just jumped in. There would have been 2 Constitution classes. Although maybe she has a Sombra class, because we just don't know. They're exactly the fucking same. So anytime we see a Constitution class ship now, we're going to be like, is that a Constitution class or is that a Sombra? I don't know. Because they're fucking identical. Which means it shouldn't be a different class of ship. That's frustrating as hell. Fleetpaw, $2. Time travel gives me a headache and nausea. Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. You better have some Pepto-Bismol, Fleetpaw. So we are supposed to get more Kirk in season 2, right? Right? Yes, we are. He's wearing a different badge, which means he's not a captain at that point, because it would have been 7 years earlier, so he would have been a lieutenant or whatever on. He was serving on the Farragut at that point too, I believe. So his other ship was the it was on the end screen. Can't remember. But one thing you did notice, when they, at the end, when they had Kirk's service history on the screen, you see the palm cluster of Axinar peace mission. They spelled Axinar Axinar instead of Axanar. I wonder if that was to screw with just the Axinar. Schmackle be like, we spell ours with an I. I don't know if that's the case, but good tea, nice house, puts in $5. For the first 5 minutes of watching Paul Wesley's Kirk, it felt like a fan film. The poor visual effects explosion of Commander Hansen on Asteroid didn't help. I didn't think that was a bad explosion. I kind of liked that. But yeah, a lot of it felt fan filmy, even down to Pike's Monster Maroon, which just wasn't quite right. It would have been great. Everything would have been great, all the changes they made, except for that flap. The flap going down like this and having this super long white strap that did this, and the Admiral's bars still like up where they're supposed to be with more white, just looks stupid. Just extend it straight across and have a shorter one would have been mint. So even the costume for him felt a little bit fan filmy. Peter Lukaku, $10. Thank you so much, Peter. You're really kicking it out of the park today. I have the urge to watch Vampire Diaries. It was my ex-chick's favorite show. I've seen this Kirk character as a vampire. It's hard to see him in this role. Oh, that's what he's from. Yes. Yes, okay. I knew I'd seen... I haven't watched that show, but I've seen pictures of him before. Damn. USS Republic. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. That's the other ship he served on. The Farragut and the Republic. A Saucy Puppet Show throws in $10. Last week seemed to teach Pike to rein in his cavalier attitude. He may know his future, but not that of those around him. This week, more obviously, not to change the future he has seen. Mark Lawrence, $5. Oh man, just remembered the plasma weapon explosion on screen killing off that officer. It was such a bad looking effect, lol. Okay, maybe it was bad looking. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. Put it this way, Samuel didn't complain about it, and he always complains about special effects that aren't his. So, how bad could it have really been? Jamie, $2. Would Pike not been told someone had a phaser? Would Pike not been told someone had a phaser? When they were beaming aboard? Interesting question. I even noticed Kurtzman tried to tie his prime timeline show with his film series by Kirk, mentioning his father served on the Kelvin. I didn't have a problem with that. Yeah, I heard that too, but I don't know if you guys watch with subtitles at all, but at the beginning when Mott asks Pike a question, his question is, you can't hear it all, but they do have the subtitles for it. It says, is it true that you can tell how fast you're going just by the feel or the sound of the engines? Which was a nice little touch as well. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when they take Una, I don't know. I don't know why he'd be notified necessarily. Yeah, there's a weapon in the transporter, sure, but it's also Federation personnel beaming aboard. So, yeah, I guess phasers aren't standard issue for beaming over to a Federation ship, but he literally just walked into the transporter room as the transporter energized, so... Yeah. John McWhat. Weirdest shot was Pike walking through sickbay, which is oddly composited. Well, it was to just show the surreal effect, like he's in shock as to what he's seeing. And yeah, it was like he was on a dolly, and they had a walleye lens or a fisheye lens on the camera, because looking around, it was a little weird. Sam's special effects aren't that good. Has no room to judge. Cough, cough. Okay. The slow-mo sickbay stuff was really distracting and obnoxious. Seemed to take away from the scene for me a little bit, yeah, but it did seem like an odd choice for sure, but security coded phaser. Kirk did mention the Kelvin, but they cut away. Yeah. We're gonna mention it, but we're not gonna mention it. But you're still gonna hear it. But did you think you actually heard it? Because maybe you didn't. And yeah, it was actually interesting. Who pointed that out? Yeah, Lisa Jericho says the bride died this time instead of the guy dying. So, good point. I did notice that as well. So, and then Bonga, all these injured people in sickbay, and he's like, Manga. Fucking act. Act like you're upset. Act like you're doing something instead of standing there like, look at Pike and then you kind of look over to where Spock is. Fuck. Chapel could act. Chapel was acting upset. I don't know. And yes, Mech 1164. Jen Bush she did her lines great. We heard Scotty, but didn't see him. I know. We saw his arm. So. I hate the Jim Carrey Kirk references. Like, Jesus Christ. People just see something and they'll lock onto it, don't they? I never even considered that until you guys started talking about it. Now it's like, I can see why you'd say it. But Captain's Law. Start date. Right now. Squadra Course, $1. Thank you so much. Peter Lukaku, $20. Thank you very much, Peter. I still think this show would have excelled if they had less video gamey visuals and more of the TOS style. This is what saved New Top Gun by having more realism. Ambassador Carey, I hope Chris Doohan plays Scotty in Strange New Worlds. He won't. He's not an actor, first of all, so he won't be playing him. Plus, he's too old to be the young Scotty at this point anyway. But anyway, I don't know what I was going to say, damn it. Vader fan, I've talked about it 15 million times during the course of this live. We have a video coming out about the updated Monster Maroon, probably on Monday, so check that out. Eric Martin, $20. Hot neighbor down the street needed her dishwasher fixed, so I'm late. My bad. Ooh. You're a dirty man. But at least her dishes are clean. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The one thing I really liked about this was, the lighting, especially across people's eyes, had that TOS 60s effect, but subtle, not as obnoxious as TOS, and the music was great. So, can we just say this is the best Trek series ever? No, because it's not. It's damn good, but it's not the best Trek series ever. So after one season, it's just not a thing. So. Let's see. Chris Pine or Paul Wesley? Chris Pine. Chris Pine's a far better Kirk than Paul Wesley, in my opinion. Paul Wesley as Kirk just felt like standard Captain of the Week guest star that's going to die at the end of the episode kind of feel, like Mr. Military Man. Didn't feel like Kirk. So I thought that was silly. Cryptic Spider-Man Captain, can Pike just tell them not to be there that day and then resign as captain on the same day as the accident, giving Kirk the opportunity to solve the Romulan crisis without war and save himself in the process? No. Did you not pay attention to the episode? Old Pike said that the Klingon monks showed him all the different variables as far as how if he saves himself, Spock each time is going to be the one that suffers. It's just how it happens. There's no way to get around it. So no. No is the answer. Peter Lukaku, $5. Did I miss it, or was Pike Admiral in Kirk's original position, so Pike is captain of the 1701A? Yes, Pike was an admiral. He had an admiral pin. An admiral pin, sorry, this said. Jeff Williams says Paul Wesley's Kirk is unlike other Kirks. Enterprise defines Kirk. Kirk defines the Enterprise. I'd buy that. Like I said, he was the youngest captain in Starfleet at that time, and he was also captain of one of the 12 Constitution class ships, the best ships in the fleet. So yeah, that would give you more cockiness, a little bit different swagger than just being assigned the Farragut, because Pike hadn't died yet or been injured. So yeah, I can see it being a different Kirk. I do buy that to some degree, but yeah, hard to say what ships exist in this timeline. So I don't know if the Enterprise A would exist. That being said, just seeing a monster maroon in this was just like, it took me aback. It was such a good, nice surprise. And I don't hate the monster maroon in this. It's just that flap, man. That flap and that strap. It's just, fix those. And I don't have a problem with the like leathery, wet looking arms or the super shiny fucking metallic stripe down the leg. The flap though, man. Fuck. It just looks lazy. It just looks like a shit uniform. And I don't want a monster maroon to ever look like a shit uniform. JT Gamer, Farragut should have been a Constitution class. I looked it up. Yeah, I've been saying that since the beginning because it's always been a Farragut. It's always been a Constitution class. Andre Benson, $5. I actually thought Kirk was going to die a couple of times in this episode, his ship getting damaged and saving the Enterprise from a Romulan attack. Yeah, where they're like, get aboard, Kirk. And then he's like, all right. And then all of a sudden, all the ships move in, and Uhura's like, it's Kirk. He's putting the freighters between us. I'm like, oh, shit, Kirk's going to die. And then they get one little line of dialogue. Kirk's beamed aboard. It's like, oh, okay. Nice. Didn't notice that the first time I watched it either, so I thought Kirk was dead. Cryptic Spider-Man, $5. You are fated to read this comment, Captain Foley. Resistance is futile. Well, there you go. JB throws in $10, so thank you so much. Was the Farragut originally supposed to be a Constitution class? I didn't know that part of Trek lore. Taking a shot every time I learn something new in these hangouts. Yeah, it was a Constitution class. It's been a Constitution class for years in beta canon and many different sources. So, yeah, it's one of the original 12 Constitution class ships. So, see, Constitution class right there. On the screen and below it, there's my 350. And there's a Federation class Dreadnought. Absolutely love the Federation class. Peter Lukaku throws in $5. Thank you again, Peter. Off topic, did you catch up on Westworld? No, I'm just finishing up season 1. So I don't have unlimited time. I can only watch a few, so many episodes a night. And then I don't always want to watch the same thing every night, so I'll switch it out and maybe not watch for a week. And then plus the last couple nights I've gone out for walks because I haven't been doing much walking this summer and I really need to. So yeah, when I'm out walking I just listen to Audible books and stuff. Haven't done a live during a walk so in a while, and people would complain now, say, why don't you do a live? Because I don't always want to do a live when I'm out for a walk, you know what I'm saying? So I thought episode 9 might have been the weakest episode. Well, this was the strong. I wouldn't say episode 9 is the weakest. But yeah, I would kind of agree that this one's probably the strongest. Like I said, it's probably my most favorite of the season. But why does Enterprise shrink and downgrade for TOS? Well, it shrinks, so I don't know. Who's to say? Because they're idiots. Fleet Paw, $2. Federation versus Foley class. Winner? My money's on the Foley. Mine would be too. Foley's class is bigger, and it's also got more weaponry. Speaking of, Scott Bell, who does a lot of cutaways and things like that for starships, is actually doing cutaways of the Foley class, which are almost finished now. So they'll be available for you guys to purchase if you want a cutaway. Like, it's a booklet of the interior of the Foley class. So that'll be something. Meh. Something as vast as the Federation only has 12 Connies? Yes, the original 12 Connies. They built more after, but originally there were just 12, and that was a lot for back in the day. May not have loved every episode, but I really appreciate the creativity of the writers this season, and the showrunners weren't afraid to try ideas. Mullen says, I enjoy your walks and your outdoor lives. Yeah, I know a lot of people enjoy my lives when I go for walks, but I just don't always want to do them, so. Pike's Ready Room has a lot of wasted space. Looks real bad as it's not just empty, but it makes little sense. You could have a whole college seminar in there. Yes, and it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be beside the bridge like that, but oh well. After watching this episode, I thought it was the weakest of the season for me. I don't think I liked Kirk. Nowhere near as charismatic. Kind of like they had a miscast Spock. It may make a difference. Yeah, I didn't think he did a good job as Kirk at all. So. JB, $5. The more I stare at the Monster Maroons, the more un-Starfleet they look to my eyes. Too militaristic, but I still like them. Such conflict. They're not too militaristic. They're fucking great. They're great uniforms. 191 likes, guys. That is amazing. Can we get another 9 likes? 9 people out there have not hit that like button. Hit the like button. Let's get up to 200 likes. I know we can do it. You can help me. You're in charge of the likes. Hit that like button. I take it that was the entire Romulan fleet, since they need Klingon ships later on. No, that wasn't the entire Romulan fleet. Do you think if Kirk did the Shatner pause, it would have been better? Yes. Don't have to do it as exaggerated, but have a little bit of the speaking mannerisms. 1 or 2 times when he sat down, he had some Kirk mannerisms, a little bit with the way he stood in one or two instances. But you don't have to imitate Shatner, but at least snag a mannerism or two. Spock's done it. So, Ethan Peck's done a fine job of kind of channeling Leonard Nimoy, so. Fleet Paw, $2. Get us to 200 likes and I will shave my head. Well, we're at 207 now, Fleet Paw, so. Oh, wait a minute, your head's already bald, so. Haha. Good Tea, Nice House, throws in $5. So Pike is going to keep the Romulan appearance intel to himself. He should share that with Section 31. What did you think of the music in the last scene? Oh, yeah, the I'm Gonna Make Friends song. It was cute. I kind of liked it. It wasn't the last scene. The last scene was with Una. No, but it was very apropos. He's going to live in the moment and just enjoy his time with his friends or the people that are close to him. I thought it was great. I love how he's walking around the bridge and he looks at Uhura and Uhura's like, "You okay, Captain?" I liked it. I thought it was nice. Rel, yes, I agree. Pike learned a valuable lesson in sharing info about the future. I think he keeps the Romulan intel to himself. Yes, as he should. Eric Martin, $5. Who did Scotty's voice? I don't know, but it was a pretty good job. So, Raymond Anders says, I would buy your deck plans. Thank you, Raymond. Speaking of, I used your two of the books you gave me the other day on our last live that we did about the Gorn. I used the Worlds of the Federation. Well, I just used the Worlds of the Federation. It's the only one of yours that I used. I also used my Starfleet Medical Reference Manual to read some stuff about the Gorn. So I still have yet to do a video on those books you gave me, Raymond, and I apologize profusely for that. I will get around to it. So I haven't forgotten about you, Raymond. I thought about it like literally 2 days ago. I'm like, I got to do a video on those books. I've just been busy, so, but I do use them, and they're quite valuable resources. So thank you. Matthew Wolf did Scotty's voice, says Mark. Okay. I blame the director for the lousy Kirk. Okay. Peck does do a great young Spock, though he did have to grow on me without a beard. Yeah, me too. He didn't look right without the beard because we were so used to him with the beard. But yeah, he's definitely doing a good Spock. I really enjoy Ethan Peck's imagining of Spock. Oh my God. Oy. Yes, Russell, it would. Please, for love of God, Strange New Worlds people, shoot some shit up in Ticonderoga. They got the sets already built. Have it be some kind of alternate reality thing, or the prime timeline where it looks like it's supposed to. Would be great. The sets are already built. You don't have to spend fucking much money on it. CBS licensed that fucking tour, so just fucking go film there. Oi, it's not that far either. It's like a 7-hour drive from me. And I'm in London, so I mean, from Toronto, it's actually probably less, like 6 hours. So, whatever. It's fine. Luke9511 throws in $5. Thank you so much. Strange New Worlds last night, best of the whole season, and current episode of The Orville was awesome as well. Yes, the latest episode of the season, twice in a lifetime of The Orville, was a fantastic episode. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Probably be doing a live about that tomorrow night. Jaws, Captain Foley, how great was it that we actually got to see a Romulan fleet with a good mix of ships we'd never seen before? It still looked appropriate for the era. It was great. There's only 3 ships in that whole fleet, though. There's the flagship, the big one, and then there's a new class, and then there's a whole bunch of the bird of preys. So that's all the ships that are in that fleet. It looks like more, but it's not. So 3 ship designs, which we'll probably never see again because you can't run into the Romulans until the year 2266, which is the year this episode took place, 7 years after where Pike is currently. So why create new ship models for Romulans when you're never going to see them again? Seemed like an odd decision. But last week, with the Sombra class, it uses Constitution class parts. It'd be fine if it used Constitution class parts in a different configuration. Yeah, I said that. But no, it uses Constitution class parts, and it's exactly the fucking same as a Constitution class. Fucking stupid. Dumb. Then it should be a Constitution class. It would not be a different class of ship. Look, there's the Rutland class right there. Do you see it? Yeah, it uses Constitution class parts. The only difference is there's an extra bolt. There's an extra bolt right under here under the deflector. That's what makes it a whole new class of ship. Yep. Do we know what Kirk's ship class was? No, we don't. Was the Farragut, which means it should have been a Constitution class, but we don't know what it is, what class of ship. But it's still a cool looking ship. So, Michael, I like the Farragut as well. I just wish it would have been actually last week to say it's a Sombra class, and that would have been the design. Would have been like, oh, that's cool, sweet. And if it showed up again this week as the Farragut, I'd been like, oh yeah, it's at least it was a new class of ship, and we know it's a new class. That's fine. But anyway. Was the Bird of Prey the same as the Picard one? Yes, it was fucking identical. We have a video coming out about that as well on the weekend. It is the identical CG model from Picard. of the Bird of Prey, which is fine because I really love that design. Plus, I already have it up there from Eagle Moss, so it's already good to already have that Bird of Prey. Surprised they didn't change it. They'll just they could sell more Eagle Moss models, but oh well. Somber Class was certainly disappointing, but thank God we finally got something new with the Farragut, even if it was an alternate time. Or an alternate time. Yes, it was great to see something new. Maybe the Farragut was a Constitution class using Somber Class parts. Well, at least they reused the good one and don't have to buy another Eagle Moss. That's true. Well, the next series will most likely be Lower Decks Season 3. And speaking of Lower Decks, holy shit, it's almost been a year since Season 2 started. Time flies. Yeah, Lower Decks is likely coming starting in September. We could possibly be getting Prodigy Part 2 of Season 1 before that. But I don't know. Because Picard Season 3 is going to be starting in February next year. So we got Lower Decks in September, Picard in February. Strange New Worlds, I don't know when that next season's starting. Probably March, April. Next year would be my guess. But the Bird of Prey had a different paint job, though, didn't it? Or was it the lighting? It did not have a different paint job. It was the lighting. And even all the lights on the ship, including the impulse lights on the back of the struts, was all there. They were all the exact same. Trust me, we've done screen cap comparisons of it from Picard and from... It's the exact same. Everything's the same, even the paint job. Did you see the same phaser cut on the starboard wing that occurred in Picard Season 1? Looked like the exact same model with the phaser damage. Didn't see that, so no, but I saw they just finished filming Strange New Worlds Season 2. Yes. The guys... Oh, hold on. Todd Walker says, I wish the Doctor would have been splattered with Gorn juice rather than Hemmer. The Doc does nothing for me in this show. Well, he can't, though, because he's in TOS as well. Dr. Mbanga is in a few episodes of TOS. Russell Myers, the guys playing the Romulans seemed a bit soft. Lots of Dunkin' Donuts in the Romulan Star Empire. Just not very good actors, in my opinion. Is that the same kind of Warburg that Tindy helps steal? No. Slightly different. A bird of prey. Cloaked? A bird of prey can't fire while she's cloaked. Well, On can run up and hug me anytime, says Mark. I wonder if we was ever see Dr. Boyce or Colt. Would be nice. The Farragut reminded me a bit of the USS Magellan from Axonar. Ryan K., I don't recall Dr. Mbanga in TOS. Yeah, he's in like 3 or 4 episodes. Yeah. He's in TOS. I'm not sure which episodes. I think he might be in Amok Time. He is a specialist in Vulcans. He does go to study on Vulcan between Strange New Worlds and TOS. But Mbanga's in a few episodes of TOS. Look it up. Fleet Pal, look up which episodes of TOS Mbanga is in for Cody and others. Jaws, I already did answer it, but I don't feel Paul Wesley did a good job as Kirk at all. So... This Jericho says he slaps Spock multiple times. Okay, yes. Patriotic Pinstripe says he's in a private little war. And Rich Klein says that which survives. I don't know if those are the episodes Mbanga's in. I believe they might be, though. But yes, Mbanga is in TOS. So I don't know who didn't know that. I thought everybody knew that, but he's in Private Little War and That Which Survives, apparently, according to Fleetpaw. Thank you, Fleetpaw. I thought he was in more than that. Anyway, yes, he's in TOS. Okay, well, Fleetpaw's saying he only appeared in 2 episodes. I thought it was more than that, but yeah. And Banga's in TOS. Captain Foley, dropping the knowledge. All right, 162 people here, 223 likes. That is amazing. Speaking of, hit that like button, guys. Let's get up to 250. Let's see what we can do. Super chat right now. Also, your scores for this episode. I want to see your scores. And just type yes if you thought this was the best episode of the season. I want to see where you guys are sitting. $8.9. Yes, yes. 8 out of 10. 8, 10, 8, and no, second best. Says N year in Vegas. Yes, 10 out of 10, and yes from JL Young. Okay. Corey Brown says yes. 8, second to the pilot, says Northwest Rail Fan. 9 out of 10. 9, 9, 9.5 out of 10 from Fleetpaw. 8 out of 10. Romulan Prototypes, 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, 10, 8, 9.5. Eric says, is Fleetpaw shaving his head way over 200? Yes, he's already done it, Eric. He has a bald head. So, 9 out of 10. Yes, for sure. 9.5, 9, 8, 9.8. They should have had James Frayne play the Romulan commander just like Mark Leonard did. Yeah, I really expected that to happen. I was kind of disappointed when I didn't. For a season 1 episode, it was a 10. I got a yes, a 7.5. I don't know what we're voting for out of 10, says Cryptic Spider-Man. Just your score for this episode out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Joseph. Scott, 9. Best was Memento Mori. Eric Martin, $5. By far the best for me. 8.5 out of 10. It's only an 8.5, huh? Eric, your scores are like your aspect ratios. They're all wrong. I'm just kidding. 9.5. 9, one of the best. This episode may be an 8 out of 10, but Captain Foley is always a 20 out of 10. You flatter me. You're full of shit. And sucking up to the captain here doesn't get you anything, my friend. But it does. But only with bribes. I give it a warp 9.975 out of 10. 9.9, 2 points off for the maroon, and Kirk wasn't great. That's true. Yeah. Donnie says 9.75 out of 10. Equality of Mercy, 9 out of 10 for the season 1 of Strange. Season 1 of Strange. I don't know what that means. I feel like this episode would have been better in season 2, where the actors are already more comfortable. Yeah. 9.9. 17.01 out of 20. 9. 7.5 out of 10. Kirk ships could have been a frigate like the STNG timeline. See you later, Donnie. Captain Foley is an astounding 69 out of 10. He got my comment read, so, well, there you go. I do try to read everybody's comments on these generally, but when we have almost 200 people here, I don't read all the comments because it's very hard to keep track of, and I always fall behind. So I don't want to get too far behind in the chat. So 9.3, but wasn't a fan of Future Pike's maroon uniform update. Yeah, well, we have a video coming out about that probably on Monday where we compare it to the actual Monster Maroon and show you all the differences. Cliffhanger was 0.2 out of 10. Yeah. Bullshit. Sucking up to Foley gets you everything. Sucking up to Foley? Sucking off Foley if you're pretty enough. Ooh, did I just say that? No, I didn't. You misheard me. That's awful. You're bad people. Mark Henson, Captain Foley, you sounded like Captain Brannigan when you did that weird whisper thing. Eric Martin, Captain Chris, can't write. I'll just get along. I'm surprised that Kirk didn't die. Yeah, I'm surprised that Kirk didn't die as well. One thing that definitely works worse on the bridge is like having to look down at Spock in the captain's chair. In TOS, Kirk was on eye level with... Yes, that's true. Absolutely. Funny thing is, I know these characters still can't name really any bridge crew Discovery. I know. Cryptic Spider-Man. Whoa, Foley getting a little crazy. Have you ever joined a late night live? It's what we do here, son. Captain Foley gets crazy all up in this motherfucker. Douglas is here. Give it a 10. And hi, Captain. Good to see you, Doug. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're liking your new job. It's not that new anymore, but I hope you're enjoying it still. Rich, I think the Captain Foley needs some Canadian whiskey. That'd be great. The twist ending was telegraphed, so it wasn't much. But yeah, who really gives a shit about Una anyway? She really did not impress me in this season. I don't like Rebecca Romaine lettuce anyway, so let's just get her the fuck off the show. I'll be happy. Doesn't do anything for me. Kirk said the Farragut was doing warp 9. That's too fast for the era. Well, that depends. That could be emergency warp. He did say that he's maintained it as long as he could, which implies to me that they were using emergency warp. Now, I don't know offhand the numbers for emergency warp for the Constitution class. I believe it's warp 9 for emergency warp. That's the fastest. Max cruising speed is warp 6. Emergency speed maybe is warp 8. So maybe warp 9 is too fast. Yeah, I'm actually ashamed I don't know those numbers offhand. Shit, son. But anyway. My aspect ratio and scores are bang on. Thank you very much. My name's not Mitch. This is the episode where they say they're going some ridiculous speed in TOS. I remember that when TOS Connie hit warp 13, I actually hit warp 14 in one episode, but that was because of alien influence. So it doesn't count. I was also stressing out the space frame of the ship. So let's just chillax with the warp 14 talk. Yes, it happened, but that's an equivalency, and it's fine. Relax. Yes, there's different warp scales between TOS and TNG, absolutely. But regardless, doesn't matter. You know nothing. You not knowing those warp numbers is disgusting. Captain Foley is now a 3 out of 10. Good day, sir. I said good day. I have offended Enyar in Vegas. Oh my God. I must now commit harikari. Airvex Saunders, aren't warp factors measured differently between series? Yes. TOS warp scale is different than the TNG warp scale. I had a feeling Spock was going to wipe out Pike's memory of his accident in the end. Raymond Anders has all the USS Farragut registry numbers right there. Awesome. The rated emergency speed is 8. Scotty could get it to do more. See? I said probably warp 8. all picking on me now. Captain Foley, after saying something potentially loud or offensive, frantically looks left to right. We don't have to worry tonight because Christian's not here. Sorry, Quiet's not here. He's at his friend's house. Sylvia's downstairs. So I can be as loud and as fucking obnoxious as I like. That's why the door's open. That's why I'm looking down the hallway. It just feels weird to have the door open. I usually have this door closed. So that's all. 'Tis the way. Scotty was known for going from 6 to 9 easily. Sounds really dirty. I won't pick on you. You pay me to. That's true, Fleetpaw. The Lamborghini will be delivered, I believe they said, in 2 weeks. I think they said on the 18th? 19th. I have to check my notes, but I think the Lamborghini is going to be delivered to your place on the 19th. Hope you like green. Rich Klein says, where is the pug? The pug is here, as always. I can't get rid of the fucking pug to save my life. She clings to me like her life depends on it. She is right there. Puggins. Precious. The peoples want to see you. Can you wake up? Precious. Oh, there's a tail movement. Precious. Oh, it's getting curly. And it's wagging. All I have to do is say, all right, everybody, this is, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good night. This is Captain Foley signing off. Until next time. See, she thinks we're getting up to go now. And then I fooled her, so she's just lying here being all silly. There you go. There's the pug. Are you happy? Are you not entertained? And we're not saying goodnight. Don't leave, everybody. I was saying that to trigger the dog. But yeah, we're probably going soon. Let's see. Can we hit 250 likes? We're at 236. Yeah, she has trigger words like treat and outside. And whenever I like, see you later, goodbye, everybody. He's Commander Calkins, and I'm Captain Foley, whatever. Trigger words so that she gets all uppity. Now, if you notice on the tablet right there on the ground, you can see Captain Foley. Oh no. Don't look at Captain Foley. So, all right. Show of hands, everyone that's here right now, 142 of you. Who's going to join us tomorrow for our live breakdown of this episode, which is probably going to be at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time if Samuel can make it back on time. If not, it's going to be pushed back to 5. But who's going to join us for the live tomorrow? Put up a show of hands, live long and prosper hands in the chat right now if you're going to join us for that, or if you're going to check out our edited review tomorrow afternoon, which is both me and Samuel's thoughts. Joseph can't follow instructions, so I want to see a live long and prosper hand in the chat as a hands up that you're going to watch. Mark Lawrence also can't follow instructions, but he's the president, so it's okay. Rich Klein, $5 in space. No one can hear Captain Foley scream. Yeah, lots of people are going to be there. That's awesome. Love you guys. But yeah, I'm probably going to call it quits for tonight. Another 20 in super chats would be also nice to end out. So if anybody wants to super chat, now's the time. And don't forget to hit that like button. We are only 11 away from 250 likes. 11 people probably have not hit that like button, so please hit that like button. Fleetpaw, I will try to be there. Hopefully I get off the road in time. There's a lot of live long and prospers in the chat. You guys love me. Oh, V-neck is still here. Jason, you're still here. I haven't sent you any pictures in a while, man. Damn, son. I need to get on top of that. Same with Tyler. I haven't sent him anything either. What if he has comms and screams on an open channel? Jaws, was nice to see Lon with her hair down and being a hugger. Yes, her hair down is much nicer than her hair up in a fucking twisted so tight that it fucking puckers her asshole. She needs to fucking loosen that hair up and loosen her attitude. So yeah, I like the hair being down much better. If I donate $1, will the captain scream? I'll scream for a $50 super chat. I'll scream con. Can you tell my boss to let me off early for the start of the episode recap? Yes, Zachary, give me his phone number and his name, and I will call him and tell him that by order of your captain that you are entitled to get off work early just to be able to make it to the live. I will do that. Fleetpot, 250 likes and I'll shave my beard off, guys. Let's go. I haven't seen... I thought you had a beard. You're going to actually shave something? Shaving your head is like, ooh, you got some stubble. You need to shave it because you always shave your fucking head. That's a cop-out. If we get another $500 in super chats, I'll shave off my beard and my mustache on a live. $500 in super chats. Let's go right now. I'll just end the stream before we get them. Fleetpaw, $2. Hey, quiet. Yeah, I haven't yelled quiet in a while. Quiet, even though he's not here. That seems kind of useless. All right, I'm probably going to call it there, guys. Guys, let's get to 300 likes, and Captain needs to wax off his chest hair. Okay. You want me to wax off my chest hair? That could be difficult, considering I have no chest hair. Red alert, you just saw nipples. Viewer discretion is advised. I have no chest hair. I'm a highly evolved human being. I have no body hair, really. That's not true. I have hair on my arms. You can see that there. But it's all blonde, so you can't see it. I also have blonde hair on my legs, which you can't also not see. I have eyebrows. They are there. See? But they're blonde, so you can't see them either. There you go. You got boobs. You're just jealous because you can't grow it, Grievous. $1,000 in super chats and he would shave his back hair. I would shave my back hair if I had it because back hair is kind of disgusting. And you're in Vegas. Don't you ignorant people know that Canadians don't have chest or back hair? My God, man. Oh shit, this is getting a little thirsty. A little age restricted. Red alert for sexy. I choose to shave it. It is logical. Eric Martin, are those 46 double A's? Y'all need to see Sylvia's. I'm just saying. That would bring in the money. That would get us demonetized. But Squatcher Course throws in $1. Squatcher Course really likes that last super chat slot. Just saying. Anybody want to snipe Squatcher Course out of that last super chat slot? You only used $1. Somebody else. And 4 more likes. 4 more likes, guys. I know there are 4 people out there that haven't hit like. Maybe you're watching on your PlayStation or your Xbox and you don't know how to hit that like button because it's not a computer or a phone. All you do is like scroll up his little thumb. You hit that and it hits the like button. We need 3 more likes. 2 more likes now. Come on, we can do it. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. Whoa, Sylvia is sacred material. You don't show her off. It's too dangerous. Fleetpaw, $2, 100 out of 10 for the boobs. General Grievous snipes in with $1. And we're at 251 for likes. Yes, you guys rock. See? I don't know why I have to ask so many times for likes. I know I ask people, hit the like button, and you just don't. And then at the end of the stream, I'm like, hit the like button. You're like, oh, I haven't hit it. Even though he's asked me 5 times. Sweet. I just can't do it, Captain. I already gave you a like. It's true, Ryan K. You can only hit like once, unfortunately. Unless you have more than one account. Go make more accounts. Fleetpaw says, puts in $2. Your lightsabers are mine, Grievous. And the snipe war has begun. Cody Michaels, agree. I respect you too much to see Admiral titties. I'm just not going to comment. It's probably just for the best. Ooh, snipe fight. General Grievous, $2. No chance, Baldy. Oh, here we go. Fleet Paw's going to cheap out. I don't pay him enough to keep super chatting, General. Grievous, you're going to win. I can't like anymore. I've liked it as hard as I could. It won't go more blue. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. I cannot change the laws of YouTube. Squadra Course, $1. Squadra Course getting involved in your little fucking fiasco now. Fleet Paw, $2. So uncivilized. Trekyards, finally seen Top Gun 2. About fucking time. Did you like it? General Grievous, $1. General Grievous strikes a blow with his lightsaber, cuts off Fleet Paw's head. Mark. Here we go. Fuck everybody. Mark, $1. Joseph Barbato, $1. General Grievous is using a water gun. Don't know why, but Joseph Barbato has the last super chat slot right now. General Grievous, Fleet Paw, Squadra Course. Mark, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. Let's. Oh, wow. Fleet Paw, $2. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, Grievous. Which in and of itself is an absolute. So that's just silly. General Grievous, $1. Eric Martin, I miss the old beam phasers. Yeah, well. You know, if you had your aspect ratio correct, they would actually use beam phasers. Fun fact, they told me that. But the visual effects crew, no, you don't have your aspect ratio right. So like, we're going to give them pew-pews because you can see them better because it's all zoomed in. Foley's boobs. Thanks for the compliments, guys. Oh, my God. Hopefully you change that because those kind of accounts, yeah, see, Fleet Priority took care of it. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't imitate the captain or the commander or anybody. So I know it was out of fun, but don't keep it up because it don't allow it. Fleet Power, $1. General Grievous, $2. Ideal in absolutes. Vodka. I miss the old pew-pews. Mark Hansen, I remember a guy at work asking me if I ever shaved my balls. And I was like, the hell? I don't have hair there. Wow. Fleet Pie, I wouldn't hide him. I think he might have... I'll unhide him. I'll unhide Foley's boobs. I just want him to change his name back to whatever it was with an actual picture instead of that. But don't hide them, no. Not yet. Don't tease me about the aspect ratio. I won't tease you about man boobs. I don't care. I have man boobs. I'm a man, and I have boobs. What you gonna do about it? Come and suckle on them. I don't care. Well, depends. Yeah, I wouldn't want Eric suckling on my boobs. This has gone too far. Talk about being in a hairy situation. Indeed. Okie dokie, Foley. Foley's pleasure dispensers. You guys are awesome. Fantastic finale for Strange New Worlds Season 1. Good job, guys. You hit it out of the park with Season 1. A lot of great episodes. You did fantastic. Moo125, Captain in fine form. Yeah, I'm feeling really good. So, missed my super chat. I have the last slot, says Fleetpaw. Fleetpaw puts in $2. Tequila is better. It's not, though. I'm going to toss this phone across the street with the damn autocorrect. Don't do that, because the other side of the street will still spell things wrong. General Grievous, $1. Squadricourse, $1. Bring On For All Mankind, the last episode was insane. When does that air? Am I missing the last episode? The last episode ended with a ching. Mark, $1. General Grievous, $1. Fleet Pod just dropped a nuke with $10. I have the high ground, damn it. Let me win. Eric says, yes, For All Mankind is good this season. Love the solar sail. Could you even see it, or was it just like all gold on your screen? Eric's going to hate me. Anyone going 10? What do you mean, anyone going 10? General Grievous, $2. You have the hair ground. Squadricourse, thanks guys. This is fun and it helps the channel. It does, and it is fun. But Joseph Barbato, $1. I don't want you guys to overspend either. I don't want you to like, oh, I got to do a super chat and like spend your money and then be like, get your bill at the end of the month and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I don't like them that much. Thor reviews are scaring me, but I'll still see it tomorrow, I hope. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine posted on Facebook just before this live saying that Thor there's a good movie in there somewhere, but a lot of the humor just kind of ruins it, which is a shame because Ragnarok was fucking great. I was hoping this next one was like Ragnarok. So Fleet Paw, $2 with a hey you bear. Hey you. Not a bear. Pear. I meant pear. Like a pear titties. Tracy Hot. Don't tell Grievous, but I'm out of cash for the night. Oh shit. All right, well, sorry, Squadricourse. Should have ended it sooner so you could win. Looks like Fleet Paw's the winner so far. So all I gotta do is hit the little X and it'll end the live stream. Should Fleet Paw win, General? I don't know. Oh, look, I have to take a puff. General Grievous with a $2 and a heart because he loves me. How you doing? Quick, end the stream. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Who's been your favorite For All Mankind character? Main guy, Colonel Flag. That guy, I like him. I kind of like Margot, too. Yeah. On that note, have yourselves a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Watch the edited review and watch the live review. We'll see you there. Fleet Paw, $2. Angry Scream, Grievous. And with that, I think Fleet Paw's going to win because I'm hitting this X right now. For reals, honestly. Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Love you.